thing I want to talk about is the DCMGA 40th anniversary, okay? So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Today, we are here to celebrate a very special milestone, 40 years of the Dallas County Master Gardener Program and the impact of Texas A&M AgriLife Extension in our community. Okay, so if I cry, it's okay. Okay. We are grateful to Highland Park Presbyterian Church for hosting us today, and to the many Master Gardener volunteers who made this event possible, especially Janet Lane and her team. Thank you for your work behind the scenes to bring today together. We are especially honored to have distinguished leadership with us today who represent both the foundation and the future of this program. Joining us is Zelmar Diaz, right there. Good. Director of Dallas County AgriLife Extension. Susan Blakey, President of the Texas Master Gardener Association. And Kathryn Wells, immediate past president of TMGA, who will also be our featured speaker. We are also pleased to have our Dallas County AgriLife team with us, Ann Lassen and Crystal Oduwalu. Thank you for being here and for your continued support of this program. We also welcome Master Gardener agents and association leaders from across North Texas. We are grateful you have joined us to celebrate this milestone. I would like to recognize our 2026 intern class for completing their coursework. If you are 2026, please stand up. Come on. And our 2025 class as they approach graduation. 2025 class, are you here? Okay. So congratulations to all of you. This anniversary presents 40 years of volunteer service, education, and partnership made possible by both our Master Gardeners and Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. We are proud of what has been accomplished and excited for what lies ahead. Before we begin our program, we take a few minutes to conduct some brief business.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to see you all, as always. 2 weeks away, garden tour happening. Thank you. I know, hard to believe. Thank you for all your support up until now and in the next 2 weeks, and certainly the weekend of the tour. Thank you, volunteers. Thank you, folks who have bought tickets and all your other kind of support. Shop the silent auction. We have got some amazing, amazing things there, and it opens the day before the tour, and it closes the day after the tour. So we have 3 great days of shopping, sort of like after Thanksgiving used to be, right? All of those who are volunteering the day of the tour, if you haven't picked up your garden tour t-shirt, we have them out there waiting for you, so please grab one before you go. And now I'm going to turn this over to Barbara Barbie, longtime Master Gardener and Friends of Oak Cliff Queen. May I call you that? Parks. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Thank you all.
The Friends of Oak Cliff Parks will have work days just before the garden tour, and probably on the 2nd, which is Saturday before, and the 5th, which is Tuesday. If you look at the website, friendsofoakcliffparks.org, to be sure, we normally work from 9 to 11, and we're going to need help to put the finishing touches on the Japanese garden and on Lake Cliff. So keep your eyes open and come and help us. We have a good time. Also want to thank the Master Gardeners for coming to Oak Cliff Earth Day on Sunday. I think that you made a lot of connections, and I think that your presence at that event is going to increase the visitor number for the garden tour. That's it.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgianne Moss. I'm co-editor of the Urban Trowel, and this is
Carrie Silver. Nice to see y'all. Thanks for being here. So, if you have not, who has subscribed to Urban Trowel? Who never heard of it before? Okay, so now you've heard of it. If you'll just point your camera at that little QR code, you'll be able to subscribe. We have master gardeners who volunteer to write. It's really fun. You get PKS credit for doing it. We've got about 2,500 people who subscribe so far. As of the last Master Gardener meeting, we added 100 people. So please, if you're not one of those 100 people, please join. What else do we need to say?
So one thing I'd like to make sure that you know is you have to subscribe. We're not automatically going to send it to you. You can unsubscribe at any time you want. That's fine. And you need to know that this is actually for the public. And so if you like Urban Trowel and you have friends who want to know more about gardening, please send them an edition of it and tell them that there's a link to subscribe at the bottom, because this is helping us, all of us, fulfill our mission to share research-based gardening knowledge with the public. So, and I'm probably going to embarrass Carrie. The auction, be sure and look on the auction. She is a fabulous glass artist, and one of her pieces is in there. So
Please welcome Elizabeth Fabian up to the podium. She's going to talk about outreach activities.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Fabian. I'm new, doing the outreach program now. We are going to be having, well, let me tell you what happened in the past. We did Oak Cliff Earth Day. It was a great turnout. It was a beautiful day. A lot of people came out. A lot of people stopped by. We did composting, and they were very, very interested in the composting concept. We also yesterday we did Parish Episcopal. We had 180 students come by, and we did composting, we did the butterflies, and we did self-planting watering plants. And the children really enjoyed that day yesterday. Upcoming is May the 2nd is Bathhouse, and that'll be all natural plants that we're going to be talking about there. And I think it's full right now, but we still have other opportunities coming up. May the 16th, we're going to be out at Garland at the Fire Wheel. That'll be coming up soon too. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, if anybody has any tablecloths, anything that is hanging around your house that's part of Master Gardeners, we're trying to get an inventory of tables, chairs, well, not tables and chairs, but tablecloths, anything, yeah. Canopies. I found all the canopies. I did find all 6 canopies, but if you have anything that you're not using at your house, please contact me, my email, and I will either come to your house, we'll set up somewhere to pick it up so we can get it all located in one location. Then we're going to have a sign-up sheet so we know who has what at what time, and then it's your responsibility to bring it back to the 635 Hillcrest office. Thank you, Sarah.
For our lovely garden at Raincatchers is having a plant sale, okay? So basically, there's going to be great selection. It's May 2nd, 2026. Basically, it's great selections of annuals, perennials, herbs and veggies, succulents and sedums, tropicals and houseplants, shrubs and trees, ground cover, bulbs, irises grown by the intrepid Raincatcher volunteers. Open to the public. Invite your friends, neighbors, and gardening groups. All proceeds go to Dallas County Master Gardener Projects. Thank you for supporting Raincatcher's Garden. There's some notes in here that that Sarah wanted me to talk about. Sarah Sanders. There are 5 slots on the SUG for volunteers. The link can be found on April 15th. Mark your calendar. Please bring plants and other gardening materials you wish to donate to Raincatchers on Friday, May 1st from 9 to 3. Okay? So.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Amy Monroe. I am the Director at Large for Awards and Recognition. And today I'd like to give a brief update on our gift fund program, and followed with some recognition for a special Master Gardener. On the slide above, you'll see some pictures, two slides actually, for our 2 gift fund award recipients. And in February, the gift fund committee reviewed applications that we received and submitted 2 applications to the board for approval. Both applications were approved at the March board meeting, and one was for Robert T. Hill Middle School, located in East Dallas in the old Lake Highlands neighborhood near White Rock Lake, and the other is for the City of Dallas Firehouse Number 2, which is located at Midway and North Haven Road in North Dallas. The Robert T. Hill Middle School project award was for $500. The gift fund was submitted by a special education teacher. Her name is Christina Roshug. And the request was for multiple raised beds sourced at Lowe's, as well as a basic drip irrigation system. This project is a garden revitalization. Can you click back? Yeah. This garden project is a revitalization project, and it's an initiative to restore and redesign an existing garden space at the middle school into a sustainable, structured, and accessible educational garden. The campus had previously maintained a garden, and this project represents a new phase of intentional development focused on replacing deteriorating beds and establishing durable raised garden structures for supported long-term instructional use. And they were able to repurpose their existing soil for their new raised beds, and they are propagating their own seeds provided by DISD. The garden is intended for ongoing long-term use through the academic school year and in future school years, and special education students will use the garden regularly for hands-on instruction in horticulture and growing their own food. In addition, the space will be available to other classes across campus for science instruction and experiential learning activities. And so here you can see that students were assembling their raised beds and having some fun, and we hope to continue to stay in touch with Christina to get updates on their progress. The next slide is for Firehouse Number 2. This project was awarded $1,500, and it was submitted by Dallas County Master Gardener Mark Jones in the back. The City of Dallas Firehouse Number 2 serves the North Haven Midway community and is located a short distance from the Raincatcher's Garden. Firefighters from this station have assisted our Master Gardeners on several occasions out at Raincatcher's, so they are familiar with us. All 3 shifts expressed a strong interest in establishing a vegetable and herb garden on site to support firefighter wellness. I'm going to lose these. As you know, firefighters face elevated risks of cancer, cardiovascular disease, pulmonary complications, and chronic stress due to the nature of their work. And you all know that gardening has shown to reduce stress, improve mental health, and promote physical activity and encourage better eating habits. The $1,500 award went towards the purchase of raised Vigo beds, which you see in the pictures, soil and compost, drip irrigation, and seeds and transplants to grow herbs, greens, peppers, and vegetables. And the firefighters and Master Gardeners from Raincatchers have been participating in the planning stage, construction, planting, and they're going to assist with ongoing maintenance. And as you can see from the photos above, we had several Master Gardeners on site to help assemble the beds, plant herbs and vegetables. And I think next up is irrigation. If it's not already installed, it's already installed. So they're far along the way on this project. So congratulations to Mark and the Raincatchers team for recognizing a need and assisting firefighters to make this happen. And we look forward to hearing more about your work out there. Okay, next up, we have a Making a Difference award, and the recipient is Margaret Ghost in the back of the room. To quote Albert Einstein, it is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Exceptional educators do more than inform. They spark curiosity, build confidence, and empower others to grow. And today we honor a Master Gardener who embodies that spirit with every article she writes. Margaret Ghost is exactly the kind of volunteer the Making a Difference Award was created to celebrate. Her passion for learning, paired with her gift for clear and engaging communication, has made her one of the most trusted voices in our association, and it's why her peers nominated her for this award. Cindy Bolts shared that from the very first article I read, I was struck by Margaret's clarity and helpfulness. Her help desk question of the week answers are consistently thorough, science-based, and beautifully written. She has an extraordinary ability to make complex topics easy to understand, and we are incredibly fortunate to have such a talented writer contributing her time and expertise. Rick Koch, a former leader of the help desk, added his strong endorsement. Margaret is an excellent choice for this Making a Difference award. Her articles stand out for their accuracy, depth, and readability. Every piece she writes reflects careful research and a genuine desire to educate, and the Dallas County Master Gardener Association benefits tremendously from her dedication and skill. And lastly, Cynthia Jones reflected on the joy of collaborating with Margaret over the past several years on the Help Desk Question of the Week. And she said, no matter the topic, Margaret approaches each assignment with enthusiasm and curiosity, and she consistently produces articles that are informative, engaging, and often inspiring. Her work reaches thousands through our Facebook pages and the DCMGA website, and she elevates every project she touches. Margaret is the quintessential master gardener, a generous educator, a thoughtful communicator, and a volunteer whose work strengthens both the association and the broader community. Her writing not only informs, it inspires, and she truly makes a difference. I'll ask Xandra to come over and present Margaret with her Making a Difference certificate and pin, which is shown. She receives the pruner pin with her award. And so please join me in congratulating Margaret on her Making a Difference award. Come on up. Yeah. Her certificate. And Shay, will you do a photo? Perfect. Come on up, yeah. Congratulations again, yeah.
That's too much pressure now.
Well deserved. Here's your pen.
Before I exit the stage, just a quick reminder at the end of the presentation today, if you haven't picked up a replacement badge or a badge that you got awarded at the February meeting or a pin that you may have been awarded, I'll be sitting in the foyer at a table. Please collect those. After today, those are all going to reside at the AgriLife Hillcrest office, so you'll need to go and pick them up there going forward. Thank you.
We've had this on the agenda for a while. We decided we should do this. It's the Shooting Star Award. It's presented, this award is recognized members of DCMGA for their outstanding contribution to the DCMGA and Texas A&M AgriLife. Recipients are chosen by the president with input from the board. The Shooting Star pin is awarded to a master gardener only once. Okay. So the first one, I'm gonna read all of them, whether they're here or not. Okay. So Sarah Burke, okay, became a master gardener in 2021. These are just some of the things she has done. DCMGA board member for awards and scholarships, volunteers at Salvation Army, project lead for TBG Master Gardener's Garden, identified worthy candidates for the DCMGA Making a Difference Award before Amy took over, helped coordinate the annual awards meeting in 2025 and 2026, provided details, information to Amy, who assumed Sarah's board position. Sarah has truly made a difference. Okay, is she here? There we go. Oh, and she got Don a name tag. Sarah, you're going to stay with us.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Thanks. Wow.
The next one is Louis Frias. And we made him come. I mean, we were really, okay. He became a master gardener in 2019, has provided livestock presentations. He has his own farm where he raises goats and chickens, participated in the Urban County Farm Expo as a farm guide, a member of the Agriculture Committee, my right-hand person during monthly meetings. He helps me with the basket, okay, full of tickets State Fair volunteer, and provided MG school interviews. He has helped build a chicken coop at Lakewood. So Lewis, come on up. Thank you. Thank you. The next one is Carol Gonzalez. Is Carol here? Oh my God. Thank you. It's so good to see you. She became a Master Gardener in 2018, provided production and distribution of Grow, Know, and Go, which is now the Urban Trowel. Also wrote articles for our newsletter, which became a co-editor of Grow, Know, and Go. Volunteered in her early years on the help desk as a garden tour guide and maintained the gardens at Salvation Army. She has been dedicated to sharing with the public and Master Gardener information through the monthly newsletter. So thank you very much, and come and get your pen. And everybody just stand. So good to see you.
I have more time now.
I know. I'm looking forward to more time, but that's okay. Glenn McGee couldn't be here today. He's on vacation with his family, but I'm going to read about him anyway, okay? He became a Master Gardener in 2022, president of the DCMGA board, provided rain catchers and RMB1 garden maintenance, provided Excel drawings of rain catchers donation garden for volunteers to know where, when, and what to plant. He's an amazing IT person, okay? And researched software licenses, which we needed for the website, performed duties for the volunteer agreement, project spotlight of MG School 2025, provided board reports, and now assisting on the website updates and on the board on procurement process, bought the canopies for the garden tour and other events, and did advanced training in propagation, organized the advanced training in turf grasses. He knows how to do everything, and maybe that is all we should say, because he knows how to do everything. Okay, the next one. Okay. Oh, do I do that? Yeah. Oh, yes. Sorry. Lorraine. Forgot her. She's up there. She became a Master Gardener in 2024. She currently serves on the DCMGA board as Director at Large for projects, admin tasks for dues, on the Jelly team at RMB1, and mentoring in the 2025 for Master Gardener School. We have to say thank you for her great ability to develop and set up multiple sign-up geniuses. She is the genius of sign-up genius, because, I mean, what could we not do without her? Volunteered at Lakewood Elementary, participated in University of Texas Day Earth Day, volunteered at the Temple Emmanuel Garden, completed tasks for Taste of the Garden. She is so innovative and dedicated to being a Master Gardener. We are so happy to have her on our team. So, wish she was here. But she had something else she had to do. Then Glenn. Okay, the next one. Miss Bernie Paul, get up here. Come on. No. You can come on. You can come over here, or you can come up this way, and you're going to get your pen. Bernie became a Master Gardener in 2022. She is the snack lady for the MG School for 2023 through 2026. She will probably do it forever. It is so great to go to the school and see her feed the students, make coffee, have fruit available, then clean it all up. She has worked at TDG Plant Sales at Workday to provide a Farmers Branch community garden to send produce to MetroCrest services, and picked blackberries, figs, watermelon, and peppers. She catered graduation and provided the food and decorations and worked at the Raincatcher's Pansy Sale. She always has a smile on her face, always. Going to see her at the MG school, you can tell her what she does is important, providing food and snacks to the students. Always have to say thank you. Thank you.
That's just such a surprise.
Miss Bernie, this is yours. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. The last one. The last one is Carolyn Swan. She is not here today. She works on Thursdays. Okay? So that's okay. If you gotta work, gotta work. Became a Master Gardener in 2022. In 2026, she had meetings with Tig Thompson to determine how to remove individuals from VMS, working with AgriLife for VMS information, and notified memberships of issues when VMS was not working earlier this year. Don't you remember there was a glitch, we couldn't get in it? Okay. In 2025, she learned how to work on spreadsheets, working with statistical reports, attending DCMG board meetings, and balancing hours on VMS. In 2024, she worked on the garden tour, learning from TIG the immense information from VMS. In 2023, purchased and labeled of seed exchanges. Don't you love exchanging seeds? Don't we need to bring that back? Okay, you got seeds on your tables. Okay, take some. As an intern, went to Lakewood Elementary, staffed the welcome table at 2022 garden tour, and went to the impact day at Juliet Fowler Projects. We cannot thank all these people enough. Thank you very much. It is now my pleasure to introduce Xiomara Diaz, Director of Dallas County AgriLife Extension. As County Director, Xiomara provides leadership and oversight for extension programs across Dallas County, supporting education, outreach, and community engagement that impacts thousands of residents each year. The Dallas County Master Gardener Program is an important part of that mission, and we are grateful for her leadership and partnership as we continue to grow and serve on the community. Please join me in welcoming Xiomara.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss Ann. Okay, well, welcome everyone, and good afternoon. Over the past 3 years and a half, just to be exact, nearly 10% of what we celebrate today, I had the privilege to witnessing the remarkable extension story through the eyes of Master Gardeners in Dallas County. And your presence speaks volumes about your commitment not only to this program, but to the communities you serve. This celebration is especially fitting as it takes place during Volunteer Appreciation Month. And that's something that I had always bring up to my staff meetings. I said, oh my gosh, April is coming. But knowing the number of volunteers that we have in Dallas County, especially in the master programs that we lead, it's very comprehensive to get to the point to celebrate you the way that you deserve. And I'm very thankful that this time in marking my 3rd year, or almost kind of the 4th year of me serving as the Dallas County Director, I had the opportunity to be in front of you to say thank you for all what you do. And not just the people who are present here today, but also those that had not been able to be present, but you all represent them. There is no better time to reflect on the dedication, the passion, and the impact that each of you brings to Dallas County every single day. Since its establishment in 1986, the Dallas County Master Gardener Program has grown into one of the largest and most respected urban Master Gardeners program. And there is something that I had shared before with some previous classes. And it's the fact that when I accepted to become the director in Dallas County, I have extension experience in other places, but something that has been like a constant in my extension career has been the support of Master Gardeners since I moved to the United States. I had been a successful extension agent, not as a hort agent or ag agent, but as a 4-H youth development agent in my career, serving for a number of years, more than, close to 20. But it has been thanks to Master Gardeners. And I'm not saying that just to say that, it's just that you have power in your communities. And despite where we come from in terms of like our professional careers in extension, if we connect with the power of community, our careers and our accomplishment will be amazing. And you are a testament of that in my professional career. In this case, with more than 400 volunteers, that was very attractive when I got here, because I said, we have a gem in this county. If we have 400 volunteers, that means that extension has presence in many places thanks to the work that you do. And then, not just that, like, of course, we have the volunteers that get certified, but we have the volunteers that, like the volunteers that stay with us, but those that stay active and continue their certification. And we have around 311 who are certified. And you represent a powerful force of knowledge, service, and community connection. This is not just a milestone. Do you remember when you turned, well, many people in this room had turned 40 years already. Others are in the process of getting to those 40 years, but 40 years is a big deal. And then in this case, as I mentioned, it is a milestone. This is the flagship anniversary that reflects decades of meaningful impact. When we look at the broader picture across Texas, the Master Gardener programs include over 8,000 volunteers, and I have to say maybe it's the largest nationwide, and contributing more than 600,000 hours of service annually. And the other day I have a conversation with a group of Master Gardeners from your board, and I'm pretty much confident that that number is underestimated. Because when you go home, if you start counting all what you do, like not only those hours that you report, it's more than that. Because even when you are thinking on your next project, or when you are like generating a phone call to one of your fellow volunteers to start like coordinating something, like it's hard to count hour per hour for the work you do, especially if you are committed to the mission. In this case, those hours that had been counted for statewide, we're talking about over 20 million in value to communities statewide. That's for what has been reported, which means that you as a community contributor are adding a lot of value, not only for like what we report to the government, what we report to our county elected officials, or what we just know that has been done in terms of your certification, that value goes beyond that 20 million. That alone is remarkable, but here in Dallas County, your contributions stand out as a shining example of what is possible when expertise meets passion and service. And that's a key. You all are experts. You come with a background. You come with a toolkit that we might not be the contributors for that, but you had decided to put that value and that toolkit for the service of like this mission of Master Gardeners program. For 40 years, this program has been a cornerstone of delivering research-based horticultural education through Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, and that success has only been possible because of you, the volunteers who bring that knowledge to life. Your impact can be seen across the county in so many ways, through your speakers bureau, the help desk, and garden consultation team. You have educated countless residents, community, and school gardens. Through your demonstration gardens, you have created living classrooms that inspire and inform. Places like Texas Discovery Garden, the Raincatchers Garden, Salvation Army Gardens, the R&B One Urban Farm, among our many other valuable projects garden, are more than just gardens. They are hubs of learning. And I will say also networking, because I'm pretty much sure that many of you had become friends thanks to those project opportunities. Also making those gardens sustainable and for community engagement. Your outreach doesn't stop there. From working with schools to engaging families and individuals across Dallas County, you are planting seeds to knowledge that will continue to grow for generations. Simply put, your work matters. It improves lives, strengthens communities, and helps people make informed, sustainable choices. And along the way, like any long-standing program, we know the journey hasn't always been perfect. There had been challenges, changes, and moments of growth. But that's part of what makes these programs so strong. Without changes, we don't have opportunities to grow. We will be stagnant, and sometimes hurt. Sometimes make you feel discomfort. And I said, not you, when I say you, I'm talking about all of us. We are, in many ways, imperfectly perfect. Just keep that in mind. And we are incredibly grateful that you have stayed buckled in on this ride with us, because it's about being together. This partnership and collaboration exists before all of us. And it's our responsibility to continue seeking for what make us be part of this community that had put us all together in this space. Your commitment, your flexibility, and I'm talking about you, your flexibility, but that's also applied to us, our flexibility. And belief in this mission are what have carried this program forward for 40 years and counting. Today, we also want to take a moment to show our appreciation in a small but heartfelt way. On your tables, you will find a few tokens of gratitude, pins celebrating the 40th anniversary, and also a seed packets that we hope will serve as a lasting reminder of how much you are valued. And I want to say, like, today in this room, we have other extension agents and coordinators and our office administrator. We want you to know that we have a full staff. Like, maybe back in the days, we didn't have that stability, but now we do. And they are part of what you are celebrating today. And I want them to stand up, like, for a short time, just for you to see them. Here, I have Carolina, Elver, Kimberly, who else? Miss Ann, your horticulture agent, Liz Espy, Crystal, and also Esmeralda Rodriguez, who is our office administrator. Thank you for your pet. Thank you for being here and take time of your programs. Matthew, or what, he's at the airport with in a green royal celebration, something about Earth Day with Adriana, and I'm sure he will love to be here. But the thing here is that I want you to know that all what you have done matters, and that AgriLife Extension Office is your home as well. Like, you are not here just for us for the numbers. You are here because we believe in people, programs, and partnerships. And you represent the three of those. We cannot have purpose without with all of you. And you are important because all these agents that are here and the ones that were not able to come, you in some way or other, maybe the master gardeners who are not present today, had been participating educating with them as well, not only as part of the horticulture program. Events like this don't come together without dedicated leadership and planning. And I would like to extend a sincere thank you to the entire board that organized the wonderful celebration. And a very special thank you to Ms. Janet Lane and her team for their hard work, attention to detail, and ongoing dedication, not only to today's event, but also to ensuring that every monthly association meeting runs smoothly and also successful. Yes, thank you to Ms. Janet and the team. I want to make a parenthesis, and I had a note here that it's very important to me to share. And I'm sorry if I pass my 4 minutes. And it's something that touched my heart because, as you know, as we celebrate anniversaries and remember that we were not here 40 years ago. I was in my island, Puerto Rico, maybe in middle school at that time. But today I would like to pause to honor those master gardeners who contributed their time, knowledge, and heart to this program over the past 40 years and are not longer with us. And I know one of your fellow members changed home yesterday. And I learned to love her, respect her, and admire the work she did for this organization and for the community as a whole. Their dedication, and I'm pretty much sure that many like her, we have a list of champions in our organization. Their dedication helped to shape the strong foundation we stand on today, and we cannot take that for granted. Without their puzzle piece, like that pin that we have there, the picture will not be the same. To all of them and to all of you, I want to say gracias. Thank you. The Master Gardener's legacy will live on in every garden, every lesson, and every life you touch, honoring those that are not longer with us. And then, I'm almost done, because if the past 40 years are any indication of the future of the Dallas County Master Gardener program, I know that will be, and it is, incredibly bright. The challenges facing our communities, like water conservation, urban growth, sustainable practices, will require informed, passionate individuals like all of you. And there is no doubt that this group will continue to race to meet those challenges with the same dedication and excellence. We are not perfect, but we're excellence. That has defined the past 4 decades. So today, I celebrate you, we celebrate you. And we look forward with great anticipation to what the next 40 years of collaboration, service, and impacts will bring. Felicidades. And something that I had to mention is that we have cake. I don't know if all the cultures in the world celebrate with cake, but traditionally, in our culture, we do. And after your meeting is over, you are welcome to come and have your piece of cake or take your cupcake and have some like sugar in your system because you ate healthy already. You are allowed to do that. Well, at this time, it is my pleasure to transition to a special video message from our Extension leadership, Mr. David Wright, who is the AgriLife Extension Urban Director, and Dr. Kemp, who is our Assistant Director for Field.
Hello, I am here with Mr. David Wright, our Urban Program Director, and he would like to say a couple of words to our Dallas County Master Gardener volunteers.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here today here in Dallas County. We're here to thank the wonderful work that our Master Gardeners have done over the last 40 years. The impact that they provide for our community is outstanding. There's no way that AgriLife Extension can provide the resources, the work, the programming opportunities without the support and leadership of our Master Gardeners. Our hope is that we continue to grow the program and they continue to be an asset to all the great work that takes place here in Dallas County.
I'm here with Dr. Kim, Associate Director for County Operations, and he would just like to say a few words.
Good afternoon, Dallas County Master Gardeners. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Extension leadership team with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service to congratulate you for the 40 years since y'all were established in Dallas County, and thank you so much for everything you do for not only Extension, but especially what you do in Dallas County representing AgriLife Extension.
Thank you so much, Xiomara. That was beautiful and so meaningful. And we want to thank you for your leadership. And I so appreciate all the people from AgriLife being here for us today to support us. We couldn't exist without you. We're just very, very appreciative that 40 years have passed and we've created these friendships and we have this wonderful meeting and all the support and all the leadership that's here. It's just amazing. So I want to thank you again. My name is Janet Lane. I'm the second vice president of membership and meetings. And I've loved working in this position. And we're so lucky today to have Susan Blakey, who is the president of Texas Master Gardener Association. She is from Collin County, and I'd like to introduce her. She is a proud native Texan, a passionate gardener, with a love for both vegetable and flower gardening. She brings a deep understanding of the Master Gardening Program through her leadership and service, including the past role as the president of Collin County Master Gardeners. There are no type A's in this room, are there? She has also completed advanced training in greenhouse management and herbs, reflecting her ongoing commitment to horticultural education. We are honored to have her with us today as she represents Master Gardeners from all across Texas. Please join me in welcoming Susan Blakey. And come on up, Susan.
Thank you. They put this little thing on you. If you go past your 5 minutes, it beeps you. Not really. So the bad thing about being later in the program is that they've already said everything, right, that you were going to say. But, and you did a very good job. But I'm not quite so formal, so let's loosen it up a little bit and turn to your neighbor and say, "You're beautiful."
Oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're so handsome, Frank.
Okay, thank you. I have a new friend that's sitting by me, and I know she's a good friend because her name is Linda, and before I came up here on the stage, she looked at me and she said, "Let me see your teeth," to make sure that I didn't have any lettuce in my teeth from my salad. So I'm all clear, ready to go. So here we go. What an honor to be here to help celebrate such a wonderful milestone in Dallas County Master Gardener's history. Thank you, Zandra and Janet, for extending an invitation to me. I would like also to say thank you publicly to Kathryn Wells. As a new president, Kathryn has been the wind beneath my wings. She had the wind beneath my wings. She has been so helpful guiding me, giving me advice, and answering all my crazy questions. And she's always so positive and gracious about it. So thank you, Kathryn. So I'm really looking forward to hearing your presentation. So I'm going to be really fast. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So today we're here to celebrate a remarkable milestone, 40 years of dedication, growth, and service since the founding of the Dallas County Master Gardener Association in 1986. For 4 decades, this organization has remained committed to a clear and meaningful mission to educate the public on the best horticulture practices through outreach, workshops, and hands-on guidance. You have helped cultivate not only gardens, but knowledge, sustainability, and community. But that would not be possible without the people in this room. And I always tell the Master Gardeners in Collin County, you are the heart of Master Gardening. If it were not for you, we wouldn't be celebrating. And so I really appreciate all of you because you are the reason that we're celebrating today. So to each and every one of you who make up this organization, you are the foundation of everything that has been accomplished. Your time, your patience, your passion, and your willingness to serve are what brings this mission to life. Simply put, we could not do this without you, the volunteers. So on behalf of the state of Texas and the executive board, we want to thank you for your dedication and hard work and congratulate you on all that you have achieved over the past 40 years. As we look ahead, we do so with excitement and confidence that knowing that the future for Dallas County Master Gardeners is in capable hands. And so here's to growth, continued growth, and continued learning, and to many more years of successful gardening. Thank you very much.
And now, what I'm so excited about, and I've really been waiting for, I hope you guys have too, I'd like to introduce Kathryn Wells. She is the immediate past president of the Texas Master Gardener Association, so she still sits on the board in that role, and she's a respected leader across multiple conservation and horticultural organizations in North Texas. Her service includes leadership roles with the Denton County Master Gardeners, the Elm Fork chapter of Texas Master Naturalists, and the Native Plant Society of Texas. She is the owner and steward of Fair Lake Flora and Fauna, a lot of alliteration there, in southwest Denton County, where she champions Texas native plants and creates thriving bird-friendly habitats that support local wildlife. This is on her property, and it is both a monarch way station and a certified wildlife habitat, home to a wide range of species, including her most recently, a great roadrunner that she affectionately calls Tex. Kathryn holds advanced certifications in all 5 Native Plant Society of Texas landscape programs, including Native Landscapes for Birds. And she shares her expertise as an instructor, helping others bring these principles into their own landscapes. And I believe she does that on her property as well. Today, Kathryn will be sharing her presentation, Let's Talk Birdie, Creating a Feather-Friendly Fly Zone. Please join me in warmly welcoming Kathryn Wells.
Happy 40th, friends. Wow. What an awesome, awesome pleasure and privilege to be with y'all today and with our neighboring counties on such a great occasion. And I'm really looking forward to sharing everything birdie. We're going to talk a little birdie today. So let's get right down to it because I'm the only thing that's holding you up from going home. So I do want to, before I get started, let's get to the first page. There we go. I wanted to get to know you a little bit so I can kind of tailor my presentation on the fly. You get it? You see what I did there? So who of you lives maybe in a typical suburban home with a typical suburban landscape? Okay, I was thinking that would probably be most everybody. Who lives in maybe a place with larger acreage, a little bit more room to spread out? Okay, Susan, I know you do. Who lives in an HOA? Awesome. And who maybe lives in an apartment or a townhouse where you've got limited outdoor space? Okay, good. Well, what I hope is what I'm going to share today is scalable. And so no matter what your circumstance or your environment is, you should, I hope, be able to pick a thing or two that will work well for the birds in your particular backyard. So let's get right down to it. I will say most of the photographs are mine, amateur photographer, but most of them have been photographed in my backyard. The ones that aren't mine are Canva stock photos. You'll probably be able to tell which ones they are. So, first things first. Aww. There's Tex sitting in my chaise lounge on the pool deck. He just looks pretty happy and comfortable there, doesn't he? So why do we care about birds? Well, they're pollinators and they're seed dispersers, all the things that you can read there on the screen, so I won't read them to you. But another important reason that we care about birds, as wonderful as they are, 1/3 of North American birds are in decline. So we're losing a lot of our feathered friends. And the reasons for that are varied, as you might imagine. Some of it is because of habitat issues. In fact, I'd say probably most of it is because of habitat issues, because we've got fragmentation, we've got sterilization from the use of ides, which messes up their food supply, and we've got homogenization where there's just swaths of monocultures and they can't really get what they need there either. So that's the main reason that they are declining. But we're going to talk about some ways that we can help them. So we're going to hang out on this slide just for a little bit. That's a little northern yellow warbler. I don't want to give human characteristics, but isn't he, she sweet? He's so cute. So we have residents and we have migrants in our area. And we have permanent residents who are here all year round. Who has permanent residents in their backyard? What do you see all year round? Northern cardinals, blue jays, woodpeckers, yes. Yes, all our favorite friends that we see every day, and they're here with us every season of the year. And then we also have seasonal residents, and our seasonal residents are in the winter from December-ish to February-ish. They might be your American goldfinches, your cedar waxwings, the dark-eyed juncos, the ruby-crowned kinglets, and then in the spring, right now, we have our spring residents who are coming in to spend the summer with us. Mid-March to mid-May is their typical migration, and I have some fun numbers I was sharing with my friend Grace this morning about what happened last night in our area. So those include buntings, indigo buntings, the beautiful painted buntings, hummingbirds. Anybody seen the hummingbirds at their feeders? Yes, they are coming to town. Your tanagers, scissored tail flycatchers, which are one of my favorite. You won't see them in your backyard, but you might see them like on power lines over fields or that sort of thing, because they're insect catchers. And then we have transitory migrants who are just passing through. The Baltimore Orioles and a lot of our warblers just come through in the spring or in the fall on their way to their northern grounds or their southern grounds. So approximately 500 of the regularly occurring Texas species, the seasonal migration routes, are right through North Texas, Denton County, Dallas County, Collin County, Tarrant County. We're right in the flyway. And anybody an iNaturalist user in here? Yeah, I love iNaturalist. I love iNaturalist. So I was pulling up some numbers just to see. And so as of yesterday when I checked, over 800 species of birds have been documented in iNaturalist in the state of Texas. 478 here in the DFW Metroplex. And I've documented 135, 143-ish in our area, 90 in my own backyard. So I still have a ways I can go. I still have some more that I'm on the hunt for. But here's something, if you're interested, you can pull it up right now on your phone if you want to. Some of you may already do it, but you can follow the birds' migration in real time if you go to birdcast.info, and it's through the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. They have migration tools, live maps, forecast maps, what you might expect to see, a migration dashboard where you can enter your particular corner of the world and see what's happening. And actually, last night, we hit our season high. And if we didn't have to be here today, we probably could have seen a lot of birds in our backyard this morning because, let me just get my numbers right, because I checked last night and then I had to update it this morning because it was a big, big night last night. We had just in, well, let me do Dallas County first. More than 6 million birds crossed Dallas County last night. Actually, as of about 9 o'clock this morning, 6,343,900. But who's counting? I am, because I love to see. And in Texas, anybody want to take a guess, the whole state of Texas? More than 80 million birds last night. That's almost 1 billion birds, y'all. And some of those, and these are estimated numbers based on all the sophisticated radars and things that they have set up. I forgot what I was going to say with that. But anyway, it's a lot of birds. It's a lot of birds. What we can expect to see, what's coming through, I'll remember what I was going to say. Some of those birds are landing here for the season, and some of them are just passing through of that number. But what's coming, what they're seeing, and who you might be seeing in your backyard, kingbirds and buntings and the great crested flycatchers are coming to stay for the season. Ruby crown kinglets, the orange crown warblers, the yellow rump warblers, aka the butterbutts, they're leaving for the season. Have you seen one of those? You know what I mean. If you know, you know. They have a nice little yellow patch on their bottom. Then like Nashville warblers and Swainson's thrushes, they're just passing through. But they're all in that count. 98.5% of all long-distance migrant birds have been documented here in Texas. Right here in Texas, and we are in the Central Flyway, which is a really cool place to be. It's cool for like monarch migration, you know, in the spring and fall. It's also really cool for birds. But the migration challenges come with some detrimental things, and high quality stopover habitat is just really, really important. And you can imagine that changing weather conditions impacts their availability of resources, particularly food. And that's the main reason that birds migrate, is for their food and their shelter, which we'll talk about a little bit more. That lack of food and water is caused by the habitat loss, the fragmentation, the drought, invasive species, a lot of different things, pesticides, use of all the ides, and light pollution. You've heard of Lights Out Texas. That inhibits the nocturnal migration because most of them migrate at night, and they have a magnetic compass sort of that helps them do that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later too. But they get the collisions, the wind turbines, the windows. I mean, it's just fraught with danger for them. And there's predators. Anybody want to guess what the #1 predator is for cats? I'm so sorry for the cat lovers, but domestic cats are the #1 human-related cause of bird death in the United States. And 1.3 to 4 billion, about 2 to 4 billion birds are killed every year by cats, they say. I haven't counted that, but anyway, let's see, what do birds need? They need the bare necessities. Same thing that you and I need, that most living things need. Food, water, and shelter. And by the way, anybody have a certified wildlife habitat? Yay! Yay! These are the elements that they require, just basically to have a certified. So you too can be certified. It's that easy. And we're going to talk about food first, and that comes in the form of native plants. And they're berry producers, there's nectar, sap producers, seed, nut producers, and there's insect sustaining, because native plants have co-evolved with birds and other insects, and that's the foundation for a healthy, biodiverse ecosystem. And most insects are species dependent and species specific, and 90% of them can only eat the native plants with which they have co-evolved. And although some adult birds are seed eaters, anybody have bird feeders in your backyard? It's always fun, yes. But they have to feed their babies insects because you can't feed like meat and potatoes to little babies, right? So you can't feed the seeds to the baby birds, to the nestlings. They have to have insects for their digestive system. And also, of course, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Native plants are adapted to our particular weather extremes, rainfall patterns, soil, and all that good stuff. And they support biodiversity almost 20 times more than a non-native plant. And so, so that's why native plants are the best for their food. Now let's talk about the different types of native plants. You've got berry producers. In this picture, starting top left to right, we've got Yaupon holly, elderberry, American beautyberry, on the bottom coralberry, pigeonberry, and did I do it? I did, American pokeweed, because the northern mockingbirds love that in my landscape. And so I do pick some out every now and then because it spreads, right? They spread the berries, but I'm willing to do that and leave a few nice big ones for the mockingbirds. Now, other ones that I like that aren't on the screen, a Mexican plum, which has the nice flowers in the spring for the bees because it's one of the earliest flowering trees, but then it also gets the nice plums for the wildlife and the birds in the fall. Possum haws, the cedar waxwings strip them, right? They strip them bare in the winter. A rough-leaf dogwood, Turk's cap. There's plenty of others too, but those are some of my favorite berry producers. And then the nectar producers. What do you notice about the shape of those? Yes, they're tubular, and that makes it really easy for the hummingbirds to get what they need out of them. And here, from the same order, is crossvine, coral honeysuckle, Turk's cap, and then the bottom, Salvia gregii, pinstem and cobea, which is one of my favorite pinstemons, and a desert willow, because 53 species of birds, including the hummingbirds, really enjoy that tubular bloom shape. And also, you might have noticed in the big picture of the hummingbird on the red yucca earlier, there was a spider web on that. I'd go back to it, but I don't want to lose our place. They also eat little tiny insects. And so the insects that are drawn to these blooms are also important for the little hummingbirds and all the other little birds because they need those invertebrates as well. Other species might include Flamacanthus or the red yuccas, a purple leather flower. Grace and I were talking about the clematis, the native clematis, which is a purple pitcher's, there's different names for it, clematis leather flower. Clematis pitcherii, I think is it, and there's a scarlet clematis as well. Lots of others, but those are some of my favorites. Seed-producing plants. So those include everything that makes your seeds, and we've got echinacea and inland wood oats, bushy blue stems, all the blue stems, side oats grama. Anybody know a fun fact about side oats grama? Yes, it's our state grass. It's our state grass, and the birds love it too. Buttonbush in the middle bottom, which you kind of need more of a moist place for buttonbush because that tends to grow around bodies of water, marshier areas. I've tried to grow it in my landscape, but I have sandy, loamy soil and no supplemental irrigation except for the aerobic septic spray field. And so things that need water aren't too happy at my house because I don't give them any love. And it didn't make it. And then oaks. So Quercus, any of the oak species are great. Sunflowers, all our wildflowers. There's also our Texas state tree that makes nuts that's pretty good, which is the pecan. And in full transparency, I'm from South Carolina originally, and I used to say pecan. until I moved to Texas 16 years ago. And now there's several words that I don't say the same way anymore, and that's one of them. I'll say pecan now. And so there's also insect-sustaining plants. And you've got your oaks. That's a live oak on the top left, a blackjack oak on my property in the middle. That's a bur oak on the far right top. The bottom left is a little blue-gray gnatcatcher on a black willow, and that was kind of near the lake because the willows like a little moisture area as well. A cherry laurel, Carolina cherry laurel in the middle, and yes, I did it again. It's a cottonwood, and it's got fluff and stuff too. But, you know, cottonwood, love them or hate them, they're a good larval host for our insects. As a matter of fact, the oaks, anybody listen to Doug Tallamy? If you do, you will already know these facts, but over 500 species of caterpillars and insects are supported by our oaks, by our Quercus categories. Actually, they're saying 534-ish to date. The willows, which in our area really the black willows are the native ones that support the most, 456 species of invertebrates. The cherry laurels, which are evergreen, 456. That's pretty good, right? And the cottonwoods, love them or hate them, 368 species that they support, which is really awesome. And in contrast, not to knock them, they're pretty, but the crepe myrtles, the nandinas, the ligustrums, they really don't support any that I'm aware of. And so, you know, as far as that concerned, that's a big difference. Carolina chickadees, for example, when we were talking about feeding invertebrates to the baby nestlings, their average nest size, 5 or 6 nestlings, they need about 9,000 total to feed the whole little clutch, which is 400, 500-ish a day, which is a lot of meals and snacks. And they only forage in approximately a 50-yard radius. And so they need a lot to support those little babies to help them fledge the nest. Because you want to have your babies, but then you want them to leave, right? And these are great because not only are they larval hosts, but they also produce food, berries and nuts and things like that to support the birds and the wildlife the rest of the year. So that's food, and I'm speeding this up a little bit because it's normally longer, and I'm trying to condense it today so I'm not holding you hostage. So we're going to keep moving and talk about water. That's a little orange crown warbler in my backyard. You can see, can you see the little orange spot on his head? That's how it gets his name. The main thing with water is you want shallow with sloping, not super steep sides, and you want a non-slippery surface. If you think about your own self in a bathtub, right? You don't feel like you have your footing sometimes unless you've got something to grip. And so it's the same thing with the birds. And the main thing is to keep it clean, keep it filled, keep it moving, provide a perch or an escape route. So you kind of want it out in the open, but you also want it near cover, so if they need to, they can take cover. And these are all in my backyard except for that top one on the left is a Canva photograph, which is really pretty. But you can probably tell, look, there's the roadrunner again. He even perches on there like he's a little baby songbird. The one with the pebbles is really good because it gives them that grip. The bluish one that you see is slippery, but I put like a rock in there or a limb or something that gives them something to perch on and to get their footing. And then the little white thing is a water wiggler. So it works with batteries and it kind of spins the water a little bit, which makes it enticing to the birds. Now, if you have a larger property, Susan, you could have like marshes or bodies of water, rain gardens, and in that case, you might be able to get species like your marsh wrens, your red-winged blackbirds, your song sparrows, and some birds like that too if you've got larger property. So hide and seek, oh no, shelter, home sweet home, that's the next slide. This is the biggest void in most of our landscapes. And how many of you have felt like this mama cardinal, just up in the morning with bedhead, trying to make the beds, trying to feed the kids? It's like, So bless her heart. And so when we talk about shelter, they need cover, they need a place to nest, and they need protection from predators. And so this is, I just mentioned, doing the splits up there on the top is a red-winged blackbird in a marshy area, not at my house, but in the town of Flower Mound, actually at Town Hall in Flower Mound at the water there. And the dad was not happy when I took that picture either. He kind of dive-bombed me. Eastern bluebird in my backyard, eastern bluebird nest, 2 that were born with 3 left to come. And then the bottom left are northern cardinals. They kind of nest in like 4 to 5 feet off the area, rose bushes, shrubs, things like that. And then the middle, that's a Carolina wren, and then that's a baby Carolina wren learning to fly shortly after that. And you know the wrens, the Carolina wrens and the Bewick's wrens, they will nest right in your wreath on your front door, Grace. They'll nest in your garden boot if you leave it out overnight. So Grace came to my house this morning, and I was like, I was going to replace all the pretty container plants, but right now I can't because there's a wren nesting in here. So here they all are. I bought them, but they're on the ground in front of the planter because I can't do it yet. I can't do it yet until the babies are born, because there's such a thing called the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, which says, and I'll just read it so I don't mess it up, it's illegal to take, possess, import, export, transport, sell, purchase, or barter any migratory bird or bird parts, feathers, nests, eggs, without a valid federal permit. Now that does exclude non-native species like house sparrows, European starlings, and there's limited protection in season for game birds, your duck, your geese, your doves, and some shorebirds. But can you change your Christmas wreath to a spring wreath with a nest with eggs in it? No, you cannot. Can you change it if they're kind of making trips back and forth, but there's nothing in there? Yes, change it quick. If you're going to change it quick, and she'll find another spot. And then after the babies have fledged and they've left the nest, then you can change it out. But one thing to keep in mind with this is a range of maturities, a range of heights. So there's something blooming all the time. There's something, different heights for birds that nest at different levels, which we'll talk about in a minute. Evergreens versus deciduous, all those things kind of make a difference. And that's actually I'm going to talk about here. I'm going to keep trying to speed along. So here's some tips for how to help. You probably won't see an American kestrel in your backyard, but I love them. They're one of the smallest raptors, and they're just super cool. You'll see them perched on things, kind of like the scissortail flycatcher, looking for little things in the open areas. So layer it on. There's one way you can help, is to layer it on, and that means thinking vertically from the ground up. So you want everything from ground covers to vines to shrubs to understory trees to tall canopy trees and everything in between, because different birds nest in different environments and in different locations. This top picture is actually a Denton County Master Gardener who lives in Lake Dallas. Her house was on tour a couple years ago, Becky Cortinez, and she has a large property too, but she's incorporated beds within that property, and I just thought that was a good depiction of all the different layers that she has in her landscape. The bottom 2 left are in my backyard, and then that bottom right is actually at my church, and they have a garden there, and they've done a pretty good job of doing the same thing, but also bringing in some decorative artistic elements as well. In the tall canopy, in the canopy trees, you're going to find your owls, you're going to find your robins, your warblers, your tanagers. In that understory area, you're going to find your jays, your chickadees, your titmice. In the way understory, the 4 to 5 feet height, you're going to find your cardinals and your wrens and your mockingbirds and your doves. And then on the ground, you're going to find your sparrows, your doves, your wrens are kind of ground to low. And the more habitat layers you have, the more species are supported, even in a smaller urban yard or whatever you have. If you have a larger property with acreage, you can even create thickets, like a 6-foot thicket along the boundaries for that. You can also help by living on the edge. So there is a phenomenon called the edge effect, and it's where the prairie meets the woods, basically. And I live in the Cross Timbers area, so we've got that little swath of all the woods, the oaks that cut through the prairies. And that supports the most diversity because you've got the prairie and you've got the woods. And so there's just a lot of diversity and rich habitat right there in that area. You can achieve that as a microhabitat in your own backyard just by leaving some open areas with your native wildflowers and that sort of thing, and then having the vertical landscaping with your other plants, with the ranging heights and the revolving maturities. You can also help by appreciating the seedy side of life. So when it's time to clean up, just leave them out there a little bit longer because your resident seed eaters will really appreciate that. And the migrating finches and sparrows, the goldfinches, the chipping sparrows, white-crowned, white-throated sparrows, they will come along and they'll take those seeds off your hands. So this first one is a Canva photo. The bottom 3 are mine. And the middle one kind of shows you, I've got things growing that are still evergreen in the back, but that's some lemon bee balm that's already gone to seed. And I think it still gives some architectural interest and, it doesn't look too bad. There are also native bees that nest in the stems. So that's a different presentation for a different day, but it offers habitat for your bees as well. Also, be very diversified. And there's a cedar waxwing stripping off the yopon and possum haw berries. But if you have a variety of fruit-bearing plants, that is going to help your berry eaters, which include the American robins, the eastern bluebirds, the northern mockingbirds, your seasonal migration people that come through, not people, birds that come through, your Baltimore orioles, your cedar waxwings, and they really appreciate the fruit. You can also go nuts, which is great for your larger avian species who like the acorns, who like the nuts, like your blue jays, your crows, your woodpeckers. Bonus, it keeps your resident squirrels happy and full. And as we mentioned earlier, the native oaks support such a large number of caterpillars, and we've talked about that. You can also use the buddy system because birds eat flower buds. And you know what kind they like the best? Well, one of the kinds they like the best, cottonwood tree buds, which is why I have a cottonwood in my backyard. You can also avoid the ides, the fungicides, the herbicides, the pesticides, especially the rodenticides, because it's a sad, sad thing for an owl to go after a little mouse that's been poisoned by a rodenticide, and it's not a good ending for anybody. And the ides just kind of treat problems in isolation, right? And there's often symbiotic collateral damage that comes along with that. And so our endemic or our native plants, since they've co-evolved here with the species that they support, there's a predator-prey natural relationship that's going on. There's a symbiosis sort of that develops, and I think things kind of work themselves out. Some years there's more certain thing than another. I found 4-line plant bugs on a lot of things a couple years ago, and that was an interesting year. But they're not so much anymore because I kind of figured out what to do organically to help them. But you can also be a stalker. There's one of my favorite scissortail flycatchers. Leave some plant stalks because a lot of your fly-catching insect birds are going to need a perch where they can view and see what's out there with them. They eat the seed heads, they use it for a perch. And as we mentioned before, a lot of the native bees will overwinter in those pithy, in the pithy stems. Dragonflies also like to perch on the bare stalks, and they're voracious mosquito eaters. They'll eat about 300 mosquitoes a day, so they're is another good reason to leave them. And just as a by the way, if you're looking for those plant stems that are more hollow or porous inside, I know Collin County has a plant sale this weekend, Denton County has a plant sale this weekend, so as you're going to the plant sales, if you're looking for something like that, the Latin word fistula means a long narrow pipe, tubular, hollow. So if there's fistula in the scientific name, in the botanical name, that's a good choice for that purpose. Bee balm, wild bergamot is the Monarda fistulosa. Joe Pye weed also has that in its name. Okay, how to branch out, how to help branch out. Okay, leave at least some snags and stumps. However, I will say human safety and governing regulations prevail. So use caution and wisdom, especially with large canopy trees, especially if you have neighbors close by. But a consideration is it does provide nesting cavities for cavity nesting birds, safety and shelter for them, like your Carolina chickadees, like your wrens, your eastern bluebirds, your flickers, your owls, your tufted titmice, your woodpeckers. And then some species will come along. I've got a different species this year using this woodpecker's home from last year. They're using it for their home this year. So they won't necessarily, some of the smaller birds won't necessarily make their own cavity, but they'll reuse woodpecker cavities. Also, the decaying trees support the insects, and so your insect-eating birds like that as well. Leave the leaves. I guess you've heard that a time or two before, but it's important for a lot of reasons, including brown thrashers, spotted towhees, a lot of our birds that shuffle through the grass looking for insects really appreciate that. And it provides shelter for small species and all the things that you know about, so I won't spend too much time on it. But I will say a lot of the butterflies lay their eggs underneath the leaves, and so if we clean them up too much, then we're destroying that pupating life underneath that layer. Now, I don't have a slide for this, I forgot to put it in, but I have a slide called Nix the Nightlight. And that's talking about, especially during migration season right now, keeping your lights off as much as possible at night because the artificial light disorients our migrating birds. And so just kind of close draperies and blinds at night, keep the interior lights down, maybe use task lighting. Try to avoid your exterior lights. If you can use a motion sensor for those, that helps too. It's also a good time to check your windows. Anybody had window strikes from birds? So sad, so sad. But you can have the decals that help because they see ultraviolet light where we do not. And so the key with that would be to try to keep it where there's not more than 2 inches in between the decals, and that helps them a good bit. You can also help by power down and do some maintenance without electric or gas, because those mechanical maintenance tools can kind of be detrimental to the littles and their habitat. It's kind of akin coming with a leaf blowers. like a tornado coming through somebody's neighborhood. It just really destroys habitat, destroys dwelling and nesting sites, and it maims and kills little creatures. And I have some stories about that, but I'm not going to share them right now. But the main point is, don't blow their cover. So maybe use a rake, maybe use a rake. Somebody say a rake, oh my gosh. But it's more humane, it's environmental friendly, it might save you a trip to the gym. The other thing that I like to try to do, and I'm trying to get rid of all my grass, I'm sorry turf people, but I'm close to getting rid of all my grass. And so I use a reel mower, which not R-E-A-L, but R-E-E-L, the kind that doesn't have a motor and that sort of thing on. Because if you work, also if you're mowing, if you work from the inside out, so if you start in the middle and then you work out, it gives little things that are hiding a chance to escape to the borders, and then they don't get trapped. There's more that I can say about this, but I could hang out on this slide for a long time, so let's just go to the next one. Lose the lawn, or at least reduce it, because it really, okay, turf people don't hate the messenger, but I'm just going to say it doesn't have as much habitat value as your plants do. It requires maintenance, it requires money, is shady and creepy because it won't grow in the shade and it creeps into your garden beds, right? And it just is the largest irrigated crop in the United States. And 1 hour of lawnmower use produces, according to the EPA, it produces emissions equal to driving your car for 100 miles. So that's interesting. So you could try gardening instead. And this is actually the home, Bonnie, of Steve and Joanne Spurgeon, also in Denton County Master Gardener couple. And they've done a great job of, they have some grass, you see it right there in the front, but they also have the layers of the landscape, even some vegetables growing in there. So they've done a nice job of kind of illustrating what it can look like. And ground covers that you could use instead of grass, I have a lot of frog fruit, the Philonodiflora at my house, the horse herb, straggler daisy, the Calyptocarpus vialis, or however you pronounce that. You can also face your fears. What are the neighbors going to say? What's the HOA going to say? What's my spouse or significant other going to say? What about critters? So there can be cues of care. So it looks like you did it on purpose, because you are doing it on purpose. So you can have pathways, and you can have borders, and you can have some architectural elements, some benches, some seating areas, some fences, some signage. That makes it official that I'm doing this for a reason. And there's also, just kind of FYI, anybody heard of the Senate Bill 198? So Senate Bill 198, not to make a ruckus, but if you're in a HOA, this was established after the 2011 drought, and it's basically amended the laws on HOA restrictions for water saving and sustainable landscape practices. So here's what it says. I'm going to read this one again too, because I don't want to get it wrong and spread information. Don't say Kathryn Wells told me. The HOA may not prohibit a homeowner from composting, installing rain barrels, implementing efficient irrigation systems, or planting drought-tolerant landscaping, or planting water-conserving natural turf. But aesthetic requirements may apply, and approval is often necessary, but the HOA may not unreasonably delay or deny your request. So there's a path forward to work with your HOA. And then how to help? Just do it. You just take a step, because you don't have to do it all at once. And some of these you might be, lady, you're crazy. There's no way I'm going to do that. But little changes can make a big difference, and big changes can make an enormous difference. So you can just choose one or two things maybe that resonated with you today, and just enjoy the journey, because it's just an ever evolving process, just like your gardens, just like your life. And these are some recommended resources that I particularly like. The Bird by Bird Gardening by Sally Roth, not necessarily all native plants, so you kind of have to read that one with a little bit of wisdom. The native plant website, all the websites are kind of fun, especially the Audubon and the Native Plant Society, because you can put in your area and see what will work for you in your particular corner of the world. So I'll give you a minute to take a photo of that. And then these are some other birds that I've documented in my landscape, and the painted bunny's going, got any questions? And so I know we're short on time, Janet, but I'm happy to take questions. I'm happy to stick around afterwards if anybody wants to talk to me. Yeah.
People, here's the next monthly meeting. It's going to be on Court Road, Thursday, May 28th at noon. So please come. I have one more thing, and I'm sorry to keep you all. I just want to tell you something. This is something dear to Cynthia and my heart. Dear friends and fellow Master Gardeners, Lisa Meyer, Master Gardener class of 2016, passed away this week from a serious illness. I don't know when the funeral arrangements will happen, but we will let you know when it does. They've been posted? Okay. Thank you. Cynthia posted them. What did you do this morning? So she was a dear friend, and she actually got a Search for Excellence Award, second place for written education. She loved doing this, and the fact is that she also volunteered at Paradise Mission Baptist Church in the youth gardening program, which she installed. She was very dedicated to being a master gardener. So just want you to know that that's important for us to recognize this to her. So anyway, y'all have a great day.